it probably broadens the surround, or
I don't
whatever
know.
you call it.
Someday we'll fucking figure this shit out, but...
No, we won't. Nobody figures anything out. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm the only one that does any of this shit.
Like, who goes into their job and knows, it's just like, I know exactly what I'm doing.
People who go to college.
They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Look at Kelsey. She graduated, and she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
I like how even on the second take, you're still talking shit about Kelsey.
Sorry, Kelsey. Look at Jake.
Will you get a little closer to your microphone, please?
I am close to it. I'm like right on it.
Okay.
You think right here the whole time?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Don't. I'm not fucking editing this all this shit out.
Did you start recording already?
Yeah.
We'll just get rid of the whole like beginning.
I do like that one part though.
What one part?
Nothing. Anyways, welcome back to Not Your Normal Everything.
Hello. Again.
That is officially our podcast name and our YouTube channel.
Until we like, if we end up hating it again, and we're like, nah.
I liked it. I liked a lot of my picks, and you hated all of them. So me, being me in this relationship, I had to pick.
I mean, yeah. You do you, boo boo.
Please don't ever say that to me again.
It rhymes.
Ghost stories.
To tell in the dark.
Ooh.
What scary stories to tell in the dark?
Yeah.
That was a good book.
We have
Good
one
stories.
of them. I borrowed it from Ted.
In the movie.
I heard the movie wasn't terrible.
I'm just interested to see like how it's done, because I feel like it's going to be like a Goosebumps. It's just going to show it all at once.
I heard it was actually pretty scary at some points. But then again, so was Goosebumps.
The book was horrifying. I mean, the book,
well,
it was scary and funny.
Yeah, the stories were scary, and yeah, they had like a little like that dark comedy. Mm-hmm. But like
the toe.
Yeah, it was mainly just like the illustrations that were fucking terrifying.
Those were scary.
Fuck that. But
like
also at the same time,
that girl that had like the thing on her face and she picked at it all the time, and then
spider.
it opened and there was spiders.
Yeah.
That's gross. I think that was in the movie. I think I saw that in the trailer. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
So I think today we're going to be talking about our paranormal experiences, which I haven't had too many, but Jimmy's had more than I have. And I am a very strong believer in the, like, I was going to say the afterlife, but I don't even know, like, the afterlife. I believe in ghosts. I really do.
I think it's what the afterlife is, because, like, it's what it is. After your life, it's still here.
I don't know. There's just, like, weird, like, parallels, like, and, like, different levels of, like, what, just, I don't know. There's so many different ways to, like, believe in ghosts,
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it was interesting, that show that we were watching the other day.
Oh, Paranormal Caught on Camera?
Yeah. Like that one guy that said that that we have an energy, and when we die, where does our energy go?
I don't know if I really believe in like energy.
I think it's interesting.
I believe more in like souls,
Yeah.
If that makes sense. 'Cause like I do
Spirit?
believe like I don't want to call it purgatory, but that's what it is. But
it is.
like, but purgatory is like a whole different.
Well, purgatory, that's like where you are forever, right?
I think
that's
so.
Like you're trapped.
Well, I don't think like you're trapped, but you can't move on to your next, destination basically. Yeah. And
well, the story of that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like because back then, when people died, I don't know if you know about it, but back, I don't know when, but a long time ago, when people died, they put coins on their eyes. You don't know. Well, they do that because of I don't remember the name of. I can't remember, but to get to the underworld, or where you go when you die, you have to pay a toll.
Really?
Yeah, again, I can't think of the name. This
is why we need to start doing research.
It's
before
Greek.
This.
It's Greek mythology. That's all that I know. You die and then you go there, and then you have to pay him two coins to go to where you go when you die. And if you don't have it, you're stuck in purgatory. In A Christmas Carol, they do that and that, because you know this.
Do they?
Yeah, because you know this. Well,
I don't really like. Well, I know the story of Christmas Carol, but I don't think I've ever read or watched anything about it.
They don't show him, going and paying the guy or anything, but the scene where he dies, he has coins on his eyes, and people take his coins.
Oh wow!
And if you die and you have coins on your eyes, and somebody were to steal them, you're screwed. You're stuck. You're in purgatory forever until you get coins. Because you can't pay it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's crazy.
I know, all these stories are so cool, and
I know, I love old timey folklore shit like that, and that's one of the stories that I want to talk about after we talk about our own personal ghost stories kind of thing. Because there's one from my home. Well, it's not really my hometown, but it's near my hometown, and we lived there for actually about 4 years too. Hell's Bridge is technically located in Rockford.
Yeah.
So, hi, Siren. Hi, pretty girl. I love her so much. I let her outside today, and she was out there for a while, and she was, I walked them out back that way, and when I went outside to go and get her, she was just laying in the shade, under the tree in the grass. She's so fucking cute. God, I love this cat.
It's Sharon, I think is his name.
The one that you have to pay?
Yeah. Charon or Charon, it might be Charon. He's the ferryman of Hades who carries souls of the newly deceased. Styx. Yeah, the river's Styx in Acheron. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you pay a toll to basically be dead. And if you don't have the money... So
even in life you have to pay money.
Life and death. You gotta pay.
So, do you want to start, or do you want me to start? Because mine's a little shorter story than yours.
Well...
I've only had one... Or no. I've had one that when I was younger, and then some little things that happened over at Mom's.
See, I don't have necessarily ghost stories. I just have
you have. I have the one with the hand is creepy.
Little experiences.
No, that's straight up fucking paranormal experiences.
That house was creepy, but
no, that house was haunted. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, but I don't have
I feel like your story is just more scary. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't have stories where the lights are turning on and off. Wait, I do remember sometime it might have been in that house where TV would just turn on, and I just thought it was just.
Okay, so then you can tell yours
electricity
after mine, because I think yours is actually more scarier than mine.
Well, I mean, I'm also.
Because you actually I want to start something.
I want to start at the beginning, when I was really young in the house that burnt down.
I thought that was the one when you touched the hand. No. Oh, fuck.
No.
I just, yeah.
I've lived in a few haunted places. And we stayed at a haunted hotel.
Okay, yeah. But you didn't know that.
I didn't experience anything there, but you did.
And also, I didn't tell you because I knew you were going to get freaked out. And then, yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, you can start with yours.
So, like I said, I've always been, like, a huge believer in ghosts. Like, I'm not, like, religious or anything. I don't know, like, my feelings on, like, heaven and hell are, like, kind of whatever. I mean, I come from a very strong Christian background. I felt like I didn't say that right. I come from a very strong Christian background on my Nana's side and kind of my papa's side, but it's definitely more my Nana's side because she's from the South. So I grew up kind of in a religious household. My parents weren't religious, but we did go to church a lot. And, you know, when I was younger, I did believe in God. And I went to church in middle school and just, you know, I come from some sort of religion. But getting older, you know, your beliefs kind of change.
Yeah, your mind changes and you start to, like, kind of question some
And
things.
I'm not saying, like, I'm an atheist or anything. I don't know what to believe is all it is. I've always been just, like, you know, kind of a go with the flow kind of person. And, you know, I had the flow of where I believed in, like, a higher power, or at least, like, you know, God and Jesus and everything. But now, you know, I do believe that there is something out there. Not a lot.
I mean, I wouldn't classify myself as Christian or Catholic or any of that, but for sure, I'm not an atheist. Yeah. I have my beliefs, but, like, I don't want to get into all of that.
I know. My biggest problem is worship. The thought of worshiping something is what kind of makes my stomach, like, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, you know, I'm very open-minded with everything, but me personally, I don't know what I believe, but I do think there is probably something out there. And, you know, going back to it again, I did grow up in a pretty strong, like, Christian, you know, family. So I've always known that there was, like, an afterlife, you know. My Nana has always talked about, like, angels, and, you know, she's even talked to me about spirits. I don't think she's ever talked to me about, like, demons or anything. But, you know, she has talked to me about, like, the hell and devil and everything. And
I do believe in demons. I do believe that, like, there's, like, a somewhat of, like, a form of them.
Right. So I don't know.
There are some stories I've heard of demons that are just like, there's no way that happened. But then there's other ones where I'm like, it's more believable.
Yeah. We should get Keaton to talk about her ghost stories too, but
yeah, she's got some weird
She's got some good. She's like actually haunted, like as a person. Like, doesn't matter where she goes.
I have a feeling that she's a medium and doesn't know it.
Oh, I think she knows it though. But yeah.
Oh. Well.
So I've always strongly believed in ghosts and spirits and everything. Like, my dad has always been into, like, really all this paranormal shit. Like, he, you know, watches documentaries on, like, Bigfoot and everything. So I'm not, you know, nothing in the paranormal world is, like, new to me. But at the same time, I've never experienced anything until I think I was 16. My parents had divorced after 25 years. And that was a fun roller coaster. But my dad had moved out at this point, and I had lived in the basement for probably about 2 years because I used to live all the way upstairs, but my AC busted and flooded the whole, or, like, you know, ruined the carpet up there. So I moved into the basement, and I was there until we moved out. But yeah, I remember this was at the point where my dad was moved out, and you know me, I always sleep with the TV on, even to this day. It's just, I don't know. It's not like I'm scared of the dark and that I need a nightlight, but I feel better with the light of the TV and, like, a subtle noise coming from it. I've always been like this since, like, I was a little girl. So I'm sleeping in my room in the basement at the house that I grew up in, and, you know, the TV's on, and the walls are painted, like, pure white. They used to be, like, this gross, dingy, like, grayish brown color before we painted it. And, yeah, so there's just, like, these pure white walls, and then it was, like, 3 o'clock in the morning because, you know, I think at this point we all had cell phones. It was, so I was 16, that was 2010. And I remember I went and looked at my phone for a second just to, like, you know, see what time it was. And, you know, there's, like, some stupid, like, commercial on or whatever because it's fucking late. And my TV made enough light to where it would cast some shadows in the background. And so I moved in the basement, right? But there was still a couple things down there that, you know, were just down there when it was just the basement. It was kind of like the second family room kind of thing where we put a lot of, like, our game consoles. There was just, like, an extra TV, a couch. The couch pulled out into a futon. So, you know, it was like a guest family room kind of thing before I moved down there. But we kept most of that stuff down there even when I moved in. So there was this, it's like a tall, like, wall picture frame kind of thing. It's like those half walls. I don't know. They're like decoration kind of, but it was a picture frame, so it's like full of pictures, and it's, you know, it's pretty tall. It takes up a lot of room, and I look over to that, and like I said, the TV is casting like some shadows, and I just, because it's like directly in my line, and I see this tall, skinny figure. It didn't look like Slender Man or anything, but it had really long legs and really long arms and like a tiny head.
So just a body.
Kind of, but like I could make out the head.
Did you like see? What was it, like a shadow, or was it like
it was a shadow
figure?
No, it was it was a full figure shadow against the white wall.
So you couldn't see like a face or like clothes or anything?
No, it was just the figure, like the outline. I drew it out for you that one time, remember? Mm-hmm. But it was tall, and it was right next to that tall that picture frame that I was telling you about. And I looked at it for a good like 2 seconds, and it just like, it was like facing me, like just I could see like the shoulders, the head, and then like the 2 long legs and everything. And then it turned, and like it's so weird because like I could see the body shape, but it didn't look human. The arms literally like went down to the knees.
Weird.
Yeah. But it turned, and like I saw it, like, you know, the body shape like turn, and, you know, it wasn't just like facing me anymore. So like the figure actually like shifted, like as it turned, it took 2 steps and then disappeared behind that tall picture frame against the wall. And I went back to sleep after that.
Huh.
Yeah.
If I were to see that, I don't think I'd be able to sleep.
And that, you know, same. But I guess, I don't know, because I didn't feel threatened by it, but I did stare at it for a good, like, couple seconds. And it stared at me, too.
That's very unsettling.
I don't know. I never had, like, you know, well, the basement did always creep me out, like, as a kid. It was because the laundry room's down there, and it was definitely just one of those, you know, you would have to, like, run up the stairs.
That was my whole childhood. Every house we had that had stairs, I had to run up them. Like,
at least in the basement, because, like, I don't know, just as a kid. As a kid, I was just so terrified of that basement for some reason. I don't know why.
I think it's just a kid thing, because I was always scared.
Well, kids are also sensitive to shit like this, too. Like, yes. I was absolutely petrified of that basement growing up as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, kids are more likely to do the creepiest things. And I was one of them.
Do you remember the one video that we watched on that TV show where that kid stood up on his crib?
Yeah, that was messed up. It's funny, but it was messed up.
Well, yeah, it's funny now.
If I were the
first time you watch it, you're just like, oh my God.
If I were the parent, yeah, I'd be scared. But me as a viewer, it's funny. He was screaming like a demon, but I don't know. Like, some of that stuff can easily be faked, but also, like...
I don't think that kid faked that.
That didn't look fake to me. Like,
No.
that's like a Hollywood production if it was fake.
Yeah, like, he was fully balanced, and then all of a sudden, he just, like, dropped.
Unless Hollywood did that, but I doubt it.
No, I don't know.
But, like, going back to, like, the whole kids thing, like, I don't remember what it was called, but there's a name for it of an experience that I had. Was more of an experience my mom had, because I don't remember doing it. But I talked about my past life.
Oh, yeah.
I did it, and my brother Josh did it. Like, mine wasn't very interesting. Mine, I was just telling my mom how I used to be a farmer, and all this stuff. And I remember my mom telling me one time we drove to, I think, my grandparents' house, and we drove past a house that was a farm. And I guess what my mom said, I pointed at it, and I said, I used to live there.
Ew.
Yeah. Which, like, it's so weird, because, like, there's an actual name for that, because it's a common thing that happens.
It's like reincarnation or something like that. Or at least, like, something. I don't know.
Well, no, it's like that's not the name of that. There's like a specific name for kids who talk about their past life.
I'm gonna look it up.
But I cannot remember what it is, because I remember I met a college professor of my mom's who I think he dealt with like psychological stuff. Like that was like what he did, but I don't exactly completely remember. But he talked about that. Like that's something that he knows about. Like, he took an interest in me because I talked about that. Mm-hmm. And then my Josh's was a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, Josh said he was like a Native American.
I think so. And he talked about his best friend, that he had a best friend, a Native American best friend, and they went out to the woods, and he got killed. Mm-hmm. And as he was telling my mom about it, he started crying.
Josh started crying?
Yeah, Josh was genuinely sad because he lost his best friend.
That's so sad.
Like me, like I talked about it, but Josh felt it. Like he felt the emotional side of it, which that's weird.
And it's also weird too because like kids do like make things up like that, but like
not that specific.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you driving past a farm, just be like, I used to live there.
Yeah.
That's, and that's kind of like, being
like 3 years old. There's some things that kids make up, but that's like a purple dinosaur eating macaroni and cheese. Not, I was a Native American, and I went out in the woods to go hunt, and my best friend got killed. That's not a thing that a child would say.
No, especially and how young was he?
I don't exactly know how old he was, but he was like very, very young. Like he, as young as like when you just start talking, like full sentences and stuff. That was how old he was. I don't know how old I was or any of that. That's something you'd have to ask my mom, because she knows more about it.
I'm sure your mom would love to talk about it again.
Probably. My mom loves to talk about anything. Yeah. But
so that was like, yeah, my first, like, I don't know, because again, I maybe could have been dreaming, but at the same time, I'm usually pretty good at telling when I'm dreaming and when I'm not, because you know me, I wake up a lot during the middle of the night, like a lot. We're both, it's so weird, we're both like heavy sleepers, but at the same time, like anything will wake us up.
I know.
So
it's weird.
It really is. Again, I'm pretty good at knowing like when I'm dreaming and when I'm not, and I am 100 or at least like 95% positive that I wasn't dreaming at that point.
I'm not very good at telling that, but I've never had any experiences where like I was half asleep or any of that.
No, because your experiences actually happen like...
They happen like during the day.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really have any experiences until I got older, but from what I know, my family experienced a lot. Mm-hmm. Like that where I like first my first house when I was like born. Lived in Hartford, Michigan, and the house was built like right on where a previous house was burnt down. Mm-hmm. I don't know the exact year or any of that, but in that house there were like newspaper articles about it in the basement. That basement creeped me out.
It's also creepy to have newspaper articles of that.
Yeah, but it was like one of those basic Michigan basements where it's just
but
it's
still,
dirt down there.
Who wants newspaper articles about a house that burned down on your property? Like,
yeah, no, but my sister Vicky had like night terrors badly
about
over
a
there.
house burning down, wasn't it?
She used to wake up screaming and about a house burning down, and I don't exactly know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Vicky saw a little girl running in her room screaming about a fire.
Ew.
Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I think I remember my mom telling me that she used to hear voices coming from the bathroom calling her. Mm-mm. And when she would go and take a look, because she thought it was one of us.
Well, because she used to fucking terrorize you guys, so.
But, yeah, she thought that it was one of us, and she'd go in the bathroom where she heard it, and nothing was there.
Nope.
But, like, I never experienced anything. Like, I mean,
At that house, at least?
I do remember a creepy dream that I had that seemed very, very real, but I'm pretty sure it was just a dream. But
you moved into another haunted house, though, didn't you?
yeah, we moved to Grant, Michigan. And no, well, yeah, it was like Spruce, but that house was weird.
Yeah.
Like, and
it looks creepy too on the outside.
Yeah. My uncle Bob moved in with us there, and he experienced things. And there were 2 floors. There was a basement. It was a full basement. Like,
yeah, kind of like ours.
Well, no, not full size wise, but it was like finished. Like there were 2 bedrooms.
Oh, ours is full. It's just it's not finished.
Yeah. Like this one, it had drywall. The floors were all carpeted. It was a basement. It was a livable basement. There were 2 bedrooms and a living room. Like somebody could like rent down there and live there. Like there was a living room and 2 rooms and a laundry room there. And up above, on the second floor, there was like a window somewhere, and my Uncle Bob saw a face outside on the second floor. But also, my Uncle Bob had some experiences too, like not just in that house, just in general.
I don't know. I don't want this I can't talk. English is hard. Like, I don't want this to sound like racist or anything, but I think Mexicans have a lot more paranormal experiences than most people.
Yeah, I get that too. Like, I feel like that's...
Like, I'm not Mexican, but Jimmy's family is.
Yeah.
And just from some of the shit that I hear from, like, your side of the family and, you know, some other people that I know, it's just...
Like, my great-grandparents' house. They saw an Indian chief in their basement.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've told me this before.
I'm pretty sure. My dad told me about it. I don't know. It could have been something that they said.
This doesn't sound familiar to me.
They, like, try to scare me or something. But they said that, like, sometimes they'd hear, like, drums or...
Oh, okay.
Like, or they saw, like, a Indian chief.
You have told me this before, because I remember you telling me the drums.
Yeah. I think I heard the drums before, but I was also...
No!
I was also... Will you stop?
No!
Will you stop?
Could you imagine if we heard, like, Indian drums in our basement?
I would move. You do not mess with Native Americans.
Native American spirits, either.
The burial grounds and stuff. You do not mess with that.
Like, they were like, I don't want to call it highly spiritual, but like they were the ones to like fuck with you after they died.
Oh yeah, but I was also very little, and like I heard the story many times, so I think what was happening with me, I was just
projecting.
I thought I was hearing things because I as a kid I thought that it was cool, but
now that you're older,
yeah, you do not mess with any of that. Anything to do with like Native Americans
or witchcraft.
And like after their life.
Native Americans and witchcraft,
yeah,
you do
like,
not fuck with.
Like Boston, I've been to Boston. I've been to Salem. Mm-hmm. It is the most uncomfortable feeling I've ever felt in my life. Like,
is it?
It is so creepy just walking around there. You feel like you're hovered and something is like over you and you're being watched. And like I went to the prison that the witches were in.
Ew.
I've been to the burial ground that they were at.
Ew.
And I went to all of the trees that they were hung on.
No.
Hanged. Whatever the correct word is.
No, I think it's hung.
And it's so creepy. Mm-mm. And like you just feel uncomfortable, and I did not feel safe. I didn't feel okay. I don't
know anybody that would feel okay.
I felt sad.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, I wasn't a sad person. And I didn't feel sad because of what happened. I just being around the area just made me just sad.
So then I guess you are kind of right about like the whole energy thing too, cuz like
yeah,
you're there like
there was so much death there and so much
the East Coast is haunted
innocent
as fuck.
Death.
The East Coast is like so fucking haunted.
But that's back also then they were stupid.
Yeah.
Well, like the story of Salem, like Salem, there was like a neighbor city. They also believed in the whole witchcraft thing, but then it lasted like very, very short because they were like, this is really dumb. There's no such thing. We're just exaggerating. We need to stop. But Salem was just like, no, no, witch. I'm gonna kill you, you witch. But also started with like jealousy and like people are just like I don't want this person. We
read like The Crucible and like we watched the movie and everything, but like I don't know, something about I'm so skeptical. That's just like the skeptic in me. Like I don't know how much I believe about history and everything. Like, I know a lot of this stuff has been, like, documented and whatever, but at the same time, like, we weren't there.
I do believe that the whole Salem witch trials thing did happen.
I 100%
physically being there.
No, I know that happened, but it's just, like, why it happened, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
that's up to, speculation for me.
Yeah. But I know for sure that happened, because being there...
I do remember we did study it in middle school, actually, because, we read The Crucible in high school, but, I have such great memory.
Gettysburg, too, that's another haunted place. Like, I do believe in the whole energy thing, because just being in Salem, so I feel like Gettysburg, you'll probably feel, like, uneasy there, and... probably Auschwitz. You're gonna feel that too.
Yeah.
Or like, I guess not just Auschwitz, but like.
What's the prison in San Francisco?
Alcatraz.
I
ever since Harry Potter, I got like Alcatraz and Azkaban mixed up.
Nice.
But yeah, it's Alcatraz. Yeah, I feel like that one because that's haunted too.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
That prison was open, or that's where they think Al Capone's spirit fucking hangs out.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
I really don't know a whole lot about that. Like
Alcatraz or place. Gangsters?
Alcatraz. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know that
it's very haunted.
The people that escaped.
It's very, very haunted.
Yeah, but we can go back to us now.
So
we can get into other stuff.
So you told Your first haunted house story. And then
You got like what, 2? That the story you just told, then your mom's current house, or do you have any like another one? There's John's house too.
Yeah, John's house is haunted as fuck.
But I don't know. I don't know if have you had anything there, or was it just that it's a haunted place?
Well, I know that it's haunted.
I felt uneasy there.
I've been there. So I've been there a couple times where I felt super uneasy, like super, like just.
I was there one time to take a shower, and I was not okay in
that
bathroom.
That was the one time when we went over there to shower because I think Mom lost power or something, and then there was a time before that, I went over to hang out with Mom because she was house sitting for John and she didn't want to be alone because she was getting freaked out. Your
mom is pretty strong-willed too. Like, she's not one to be freaked out.
No, yeah, she either called or she texted me, but she asked me to come over and like hang out with her so she wasn't alone because she was getting like kind of freaked out. And like, her and John have been together for like, I don't know, what year is it? 2009?
I don't know.
So they've been together for about like 8 or 9 years. But his house, again, I think it was another situation where the house previously built on that land burnt down, or I think it might be built on a cemetery, or it might have been both. I don't know.
Why do people think that it's okay to to build houses where people are buried?
Because maybe they don't know
where people died.
Maybe they don't know like when they first start, or they just don't believe,
Because like there's a lot of stories. Even if you don't believe, there's a lot of stories.
I know, but irrelevant.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, John's it's
you feel queasy there.
I mean, I've been inside there a few times, and it was just that one time that I didn't feel okay.
Well, no, because we were there to, pick up the TV the one time, and, we've been there for, some parties and everything.
I felt fine.
But yeah, that one day that you and I went over there to go take a shower because we didn't have power at Mom's when we were living there, I didn't feel welcomed.
Mm-mm.
And nobody was there. It was just you and me that were there. Like,
no.
Mom and John Booth, fuck.
No, your mom was there.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was. I remember she was watching the Steelers game. I remember that.
So there must have been another time. Because
I only showered there one time. Your mom was there because there wasn't power at her house.
Oh, you know what it was? I went there by myself.
Why would you do that?
Because I needed to fucking shower.
Go somewhere else.
No, shit. I could have sworn it was you and me that were there by ourselves. But yeah, it was, shit. Yeah, I went there by myself and I felt so uneasy.
Wow.
And, like, I have anxiety. Like, I have, generalized anxiety. I have panic syndrome and everything. But this wasn't, anxiety or panic. It was, like, something doesn't want... Like, I am not welcomed here right now. And I was literally by my fucking self. There's a difference,
though. Like, feeling anxious and feeling uneasy is completely
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
feeling.
I know the difference.
Yeah.
I know when I'm anxious and when I'm, probably going to start panicking. But the feeling I got when I was by myself in that house, I was not welcome there.
Well, I feel like anxiety, you're on edge and anything could, like, happen. Where, like, being, like, you at John's house, it's, like, you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's not that you're going to be triggered. It's that you feel something. Where anxiety, you're
kind of just, like, waiting for something to, like...
Yeah. Yeah, something's, like, telling you this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, you're waiting something's going to happen. Where you're feeling uneasy, it's
you
just...
You literally feel like something is, like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Or, like, something's hovering over you, or something's
I never felt that. I just always felt like,
I hate that.
I just, like... Yeah, when I went to shower there by myself, I just felt like something was just like, get out.
Yeah, I felt that. Like, going back to Salem, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like I wasn't welcomed. I felt uneasy by all the sadness that was like surrounding me. And I was like 5th grade, so I was what, 9, 10? Something that not normal 10-year-olds don't feel.
At least like randomly like that. Well, I mean, like, I don't know.
And me, like, I wasn't a sad kid. Like, I had like a happy life. I had a good childhood. I was a happy kid. And just to go to this town and just feel all the sadness, it wasn't normal for me.
Yeah.
And it was just, it would be interesting. That was a good
vacation.
Honestly, it was. Going to Boston, Massachusetts is a cool state. There's so much history there.
I've never been.
And me, like, I love history.
Yeah, I could tell the way you were fucking reading up about Egyptians today.
Egyptians are so cool though. Like, but anyway.
But yeah, so another thing too, why John's house is so haunted, like his daughter used to have like dreams. Like, I don't know if you would really classify them as nightmares, but there's one that John told me about that one time she was literally like screaming back and forth with a man in like a tall top hat.
Oh, I remember.
And he, like, the man on the top hat was standing in the kitchen. Because, like, so, yeah, I think a house did burn down on that property at one point because John's brother he built houses. So John was able to, like, build his own house on that land. And I guess his daughter, at one point, had a dream where she was standing, like, in the kitchen, like, in, like, the modernized house, like, you know, in that kitchen. And she was screaming back and forth with some dude in a very tall top hat, you know.
Doug Dimmadome? Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Yes. But the hat man was screaming at her, telling her to get out of his house, or, like, get off my land. Like, he was telling her to get out, get out, get out. And I guess she was screaming back at him. She's like, no, this is my house. Like, this is my house. And I guess they were just going back and forth, back and forth.
Was she, like, conscious?
No, she said this was a dream. Or John told me that this was a dream. Okay. I've never heard it from her, but yeah, John told me about that. And then Mom's had some crazy experiences too. I can't really remember what they are, but Mom's had so many.
See, I've never had any experiences where, like, I dreamt something. I mean, I had one with my grandma. But that's
I've had one with my Aunt
that's
Karen.
Completely, like, different. I never had one with somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that would, like...
That's scary.
Yeah. I couldn't find the words to say for that, but that's not scary. Okay. Like,
hi, honey.
My grandma, I felt very, like, at ease because my grandma died and I was very, very close to her. And I was not okay at the time because I lost her. And at the time I was a teen. I thought nobody loved me.
Yeah.
I'm the middle child. My parents are all about my younger brother and my 2 older sisters because they're successful and I'm just the middle one. I don't think that anymore because, like, obviously I'm number 1.
Jesus.
No. But it was a very hard time because I thought that the only person that actually loved me was gone. And, like, that all got settled, like, because I told my ex about that. My ex told my mom, which that's the only thing that I appreciate about her, my ex, because she did something good for once. But my mom had a good talk to me. But anyway, I ended up having a dream. This happened, like, right, like, after all that was done. My grandma...
After your mom talked to you?
Yeah. This happened, like, I don't know how long after, but this might have been a couple weeks after she died. She just appeared in my dream, and it was just very real. There was, like, I don't know what was going on in the dream. There was a lot of people, and then there was just her, and she just said, everything will be okay. And I was okay since.
Yeah. No, same thing happened with my Aunt Karen. But it was actually, it's weird. It was the night before she died. Like, because I'm not, like, I just had something in my throat. I did love her, though. Like, we weren't, like, close because she lived in Mount Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but we did go and
hours.
see her quite a bit. Like, at least, like, 3 times a year. We would go up there, or maybe even 4. Most major holidays, we would go and see her. And just, you know, she was always just, she's a beautiful soul. I mean, she loved everybody, never had a bad thing to say about anybody. And, you know, that's kind of typical for, you know, anybody that's passed on that, you know, people say. But my Aunt Karen really did, like, just, she loved everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to love everybody, at least. And she was very active on Facebook, too. And she would always comment on my pictures. She'd just be like, Bethy, you look so beautiful. I love you. And just, you know, just simple things like that. And it was the night before that she passed away. I was dating Jeff at the time, and I was staying at his house. And I just remember the dream I had so vividly. It was like, God, it was so weird. It's only ever happened like once or 2 other times before this, or maybe even after. I don't know, but there was like no background. It was like pure white, like pure like glowing white. But it didn't like freak me out or anything. And I just remember, like, you know, kind of looking over my shoulder, and, like, I saw my Aunt Karen, and my Aunt Karen was in a wheelchair, like, my whole life that I knew her. And she could walk, or at least, like, before she died, or, like, before she got really bad, she could walk. She could, like, she would walk like my papa does now, like, just, like, kind of, like, hunched over kind of thing, because I don't think she had Parkinson's. Some of my families told me that it was Lyme disease, but I think it also might have been like fibromyalgia or something like that. Her muscles were disintegrating basically, but she could walk at some point in her life, or at least like that I can remember, but she was in a wheelchair for most of it. But yeah, I looked over my shoulder, and she was just there, and like she was standing up. She wasn't standing up like straight or anything, like she wasn't like, you know, like all healed and whatever, but she was just like standing there. And I don't think I said a word in this whole dream, but I remember I took 2 steps towards her, and she just like opened her arms, and, you know, she hugged me like she normally would. Because, you know, she couldn't, like, really raise her arms. So, like, she could only just, like, bring them, like, you know, kind of, like, a little below my shoulders kind of thing. And all she said was, "It's okay." And that's all that dream was. Mm-hmm. And then I woke up. It's
weird how that stuff happens.
Dude, I woke up, and it was, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning. And I remember I woke Jeff up, and I think I told him, I'm just like, I had a dream, and I think my aunt died. And then I think my dad fucking texted me. All he said was, Aunt Karen passed last night.
That's weird. Like, I know we're not the only people that's ever experienced it. I mean, Keaton did, right?
Yeah, her gramma.
Yeah,
but I think her grandma had passed when she had that dream.
Well, so did mine. Mm-hmm. Because it's weird how that happens. Mm-hmm. But it's like,
it just makes me think.
It's also relieving.
Well, so in my, like, why me? I mean, me and my Aunt Karen, you know, we always got along and everything. Like, I love her with all my fucking heart. And, like, her and my dad were really close growing up. Like, that was his actual, like, biological sister. He has He has a stepsister and then, like, a few other siblings, but from the stories that I heard, like, Aunt Karen, like, really took care of my dad. Like, my dad was pretty troubled as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it just always kind of made me wonder, like, why did she come to me? I'm grateful that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's crazy.
I know. But I know that I'm not the only one that's experienced things with my grandma. Because my uncle, her son, he lived out in Arizona.
Which uncle? Uncle Bob?
Uncle Wedo.
Oh, okay.
He lived in Arizona at the time she died, and he couldn't be there for the funeral.
Oh, that sucks.
And he was just devastated. Like, he wasn't okay. And that night, he said that he felt somebody playing with his hair, like scratching his head.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Like, that. It's. The whole paranormal thing, it's cool. It can be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be creepy.
Yeah. Which.
Like other ones that I've had.
I was just about to say, so why don't we talk about your other haunted house story and then...
Well, there's still, like, others from the house where my Uncle Bob lived with us.
Mm-hmm.
I never personally experienced anything in that house, but my Uncle Bob did. And
this was the house on Spruce?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember if any of, like, my family did. Oh, yes. My sister had a doorbell for her bedroom.
Oh.
Which is, like, such a...
I know this story.
Early 2000s teenage girl thing to do. She even had one of those voice diary things.
Mm-hmm. I had one, too.
Where, like, it was voice automated, and that's the only way that you
Mine never worked.
You could lock it. It never worked for me. Because, like, I couldn't open it.
That was the point.
I know. That was what the commercial was. Anyway, she had a doorbell in her room. And it worked for a while, and it was used. But it used to just randomly go off in that house. And, like, I thought it was just technology. Because early 2000s... stuff didn't always work right.
Or at all.
Yeah. So it could have been that. But being it was in that house, it could have been anything. But then I don't remember if there was anything else at that house. But when we moved, which the next house was where, like, the weird things happen.
So the one on Spruce is the one that is near your parents' house now, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's
and then
the one
you
that
moved into another house.
We moved into Grant, which that one never had, like, any experiences at that one. That one was fine. That one was, like, in town Grant. The only time we ever, like, actually lived in town. Mm-hmm. But when we moved, one of my sister's friends moved into that house.
Oh.
And
see, like, I already know, like, all these stories, but
not everybody else.
I know, it's just it just blows my mind because I forget, like, how many, ghost stories you do kind of actually have.
Yeah. But my sister's friend, one of them moved
Becca's
into
friend, right?
I think it was both of theirs. I don't know. They're not too far in age. They both went to high school together. Like, they were, like, a few years apart. 2 years apart.
Yeah.
I think is what it is. 2 or yeah. Anyway, maybe 1. I don't know. Anyway, my own sisters. But anyway.
It's all right. Do you remember yesterday when I asked you how old I was?
Yeah, honestly, somebody asked me that, and I had to think about it. Like, how old am I?
You just get to a point in your life where you don't give a shit anymore.
I know. but yeah, he moved into that house, and he asked my sisters, like, have you guys experienced anything in that house?
That.
And
That's when you know it's haunted.
They're just like, I mean, kind of. And he said that because they hung out in the basement a lot, and like the basement had like a ledge across the wall. We put all of like our VHS tapes up there because we were in the 2000s. DVDs weren't a thing yet.
Well, I think they were, or at least like they were just getting started.
Maybe, yeah. But we had a bunch of not DVDs, VHS tapes. But they moved in and like they did that too. They put their stuff there, and they found those on the floor, and their remote just
fuck that.
The remote just
fuck that.
I think this happened with them in there, but the remote just fell off the couch, and like or fell off something. It was not. It was on a flat surface, and it just fell off. So that's another thing that happened. Then we moved to like an actual good ghostless house, and then we had to move again into a house that had something. I hated the basement.
Is this the one with the hand?
This is the one with the hand.
Yes, this is my favorite.
My parents just like bought the house, and it was like around Christmas time, and my dad was just, "You guys want to go see the house?" And we were all, of course, yeah, we want to go see the house because we needed to go pick out our rooms. With the room I wanted, Vicky was just like, "No, that's my room," because it was the big one. But she's the older sister, whatever. Said, I got the room that had wallpaper of cowboys.
There you go. Very fitting.
But it was bigger than Becca's, so whatever.
So it's all that matters.
But I also had to share a room with Josh.
You shared a room with Josh for like your whole life.
Yeah, I did. But that day, well, it happened at night. That night, we got there and we went upstairs to check out our rooms, and going upstairs there was like what do you call it, like the ledge. There was like I don't know what you call it. It was like a fence, but upstairs.
The railway.
That the railway. The room, we went to all the rooms. There were 3 up there. This was a 4-bedroom house. And we went through all of the rooms, and then we went into my room, which is the last one.
With the cowboys?
Yeah, which had the best closet. It had such a nice closet. But anyway, the light switch to the upstairs was next to my doorway. And the light switch was, like, right under it is no ground. There's nothing there. Nothing at all. No floor. Just the first floor. So, Vicky, of course, was, like, being Vicky. She did something, and then, like, we all got scared for some... I don't remember what happened. But me, as a kid, I always believed turning on the light helped with, like, everything. Turning on the light was, like, the key.
It chases the monsters away.
Yeah. So me, I reached over to turn the light on because there was Vicky up front, Becca, and I think Josh was in the middle.
And how old were you guys at this point? Like,
I was probably...
You're still pretty young.
Yeah, I want to say 12, 13, between 11 to 13.
I thought you were younger than that.
But no, I was probably 11, 12.
Jesus.
I don't know. I was a little older, but
I thought you were younger.
No.
Oh, this makes it so much more worse.
But I was in the back, and we were running to get to the stairs to go downstairs, and I went to reach across for the light to turn the light on. And I know that nobody was there. Nobody was next to the switch except me, because everybody was in front of me. Nobody was on the other side of me because that was where the stairs were.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be like 15 feet tall. But I went to turn on the light, and a hand was blocking the light. I could not turn it on.
Oh, I love and I hate this story every time you tell it.
I went for the switch and I grabbed a hand, and I knew it was a hand because I felt flesh and like the indentations of the fingers. Mm-hmm. And like it was the fingers were facing toward me. So it had to be somebody on the other side of me.
So like this?
Yeah.
Like they were like blocking it like
their hand was like this, and I reached this way.
So like their palm was like outward.
Yeah. Like I touched the back of a hand. And I could not turn the light on because something was blocking it. So I had to run. That was my only choice. Run to the stairs. The light can't save you.
Not at this point, boy. You fucked.
No. And like I feel like seeing things is one thing, but touching?
Yeah.
Like touching, what stories do you hear where like
Not
you
a lot.
touch something?
Not a lot.
I mean, you get those where you feel touched, but I touched something. Mm-hmm. Something that wasn't there.
And none of your siblings were, like, around.
No. Well, they were in front of me. So, like, nobody was there to touch it, to stop me from turning the light on.
Unless they were, like, contortionists and, like...
No. If anybody was, it could be Becca, because Becca's weird.
I love your family.
I know. But... there was that. That's probably the creepiest experience.
No, that shit's fucked.
Because I touched a thing.
It's one thing.
I touched something.
It's one thing to like see something,
Which
but
I did see something in that house like 3 times.
Oh, that's right. You said you were like sitting in the closet, weren't you?
Yeah. I was in.
I know all Jimmy's ghost stories, so.
I was in 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. I got suspended from school because my stupid friends bought in some of those poppets, those little firecracker things. We just throw it on the ground and it goes...
I think they're snappets.
Either way. One of my friends...
We're from Michigan.
One of my friends brought those in, and I was like, give me one. So I grabbed one, and I threw it on the desk. And the substitute teacher saw me and was like, hey, get out of here. I'm like, okay. So
okay.
I was scared. I was horrified because I've never been in trouble in school a day in my life. And I kind of made school history because nobody's ever done that before.
Congratulations. You also got best hair.
Well, that was a couple years later. Or a year. I don't remember. It could have been 6th grade, 7th grade.
Still, just the fact that you won like a mock election is just like, I don't know.
I had good hair.
It doesn't surprise me.
I had good hair.
You're such like a jock band geek.
I know. But anyway,
well, I was a big ass stoner.
Anyway.
That's another thing
I got suspended
talk about.
Being a stoner. Well, that's...
Well, no, just like how different we were in high school.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if you're going to talk about that, you're going to have to get like your friends. Because I was a good kid. Except for that one time where I threw that firecracker, which my parents to this day make fun of me for it.
Oh yeah, no, your mom.
I hate the 4th of July because that always comes up.
I talked to her about it like not too long ago.
Of course you did, because she loves to bring it up. They were laughing on the way to get me when I got suspended.
Oh, I bet.
But then my dad yelled at me in front of like everybody.
Well, yeah, because like your parents are cool and everything. Like they'll definitely like, you know, they'll act like good parents, and like later on, yeah, and then later on they're just like, fucking idiot.
Yeah, but anyway, I got suspended from school. My parents had a talk with me, and they were just like, you can't do that. Blah, 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 peer pressure, blah, 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 which I wasn't peer pressured into it. It was my choice. It was my idea. I was like, let me see that. It was me. If anything, I was probably the one that peer pressured the other friends, except I didn't peer pressure him into bringing the whole bag of it. Chandler. But the other two, well, no, I was one of the two. The other one, that threw it, he probably did it because I did it. But anyway, I got in trouble, grounded, suspended for like 1 day. And my parents, they lectured me and told me that that's bad. That's bad.
That's bad, okay.
Okay. That's bad.
Snappers are bad, okay.
But then I didn't want to be around my parents because who wants to be around their parents after they just yelled at you and
fuck
like
that.
all that. So I went into my room being the angsty sad kid. Well, I wasn't angsty. I was just sad because I got in trouble and I got caught. I'm sad.
Aw.
Poor
baby Jimmy.
There was no angst in me. I was just
Yeah,
sad.
try having your parents divorced at 16. Talk to me about fucking angst.
No. That's for next time. But I sat in my closet. My closet was really cool. It wasn't just like the basic like closet, the bifold door. It had an actual door. It was a walk-in closet. It even had a window. I had a window in that closet. It was so cool. And I even had a closet in my closet. There was like a little like crawl space attic kind of thing.
So it wasn't a closet. It was a crawl space.
No, yeah,
attic.
but like there was a door in that room, in that closet, which was just another storage space. But that closet was so cool. But anyway, I sat in between my room and the closet, like right at the like doorway, and I remember I was pouting because I was a kid, and I was like looking down, just thinking about how stupid I was, and then I felt something, and I looked up, and there was like, it was probably like 6 foot tall, maybe, just a shadow. It looked like static, like just a staticky black shadow, complete human figure. Like it wasn't like yours where the arms were really long. It was a human body figure right next to me. And my body froze.
Yeah.
I looked and I didn't move. I just stared, glued at it. And it was only there for like a second and it was gone. But my body froze. And then once like I got unfroze, I was like, I'm getting out of here. So
She booked out of there.
I moved. I left. I left that spot. I left the upstairs, which that's the same house I felt the hand. So it's probably his hand that I felt.
Probably.
But I don't know who he is. It was just a black shadow, a very dark figure. But I saw that like 3 times.
3 times.
2-3 times maybe. I don't know. I saw it a few times in that house. And Vicky, again, being Vicky, which Vicky was mean growing up. But she did it in like her own I'm picking on you, I'm tormenting you kind of way, but it was mean. She was mean. But there was one day that like I think my grandpa caught it. My grandpa caught the shadow. No.
He's like, look at this boy.
My grandpa called it an aura. I haven't looked into that. Like, as
A black aura
recent.
sounds kind of threatening, though.
I don't know.
If that's what you're describing it as.
I haven't looked up like aura, or I haven't done my research on it recently, but he called it an aura. He had this big giant book. It was like a Bible kind of thing, but it's my dad's side, so Hispanics, and he was talking about it. But yeah, Vicky pretended that she was possessed by the thing and chased me all around the house, and it scared me so bad because like I've seen the thing. I didn't know any better.
That's kind of funny.
And like
It probably wasn't funny at the time.
It was so bad. Like she would not stop. I was almost in tears just telling her, please, I don't want you to do this anymore. Please stop. And she kept going. So when she kept going, I thought maybe this is this person. Please stop it. But I just think it was Vicky. And I wanted to go on my roof because the closet in my room that had the window went to the roof, which is weird. But,
no, we had a window that went to the roof.
But it's just weird that they're in my closet.
Maybe
But
it was a room at one point.
I think it was not Not that closet. That's like a Harry Potter room. That can't be a bedroom. But it was more of a long closet than a big closet. But it was still cool to have. But I almost wanted to go to the roof to hide from her because it was so scary to me. Like, imagine if Emma did that to you.
Which she never would have. If anything, I would have done that to her.
Well, like the shadow that you saw. Imagine she did that to you at a young age.
Oh, I know.
That's terrifying.
I know.
Like, you lived it. You saw it.
Vicky liked to torment you guys.
Oh my God. And then Vicky and Becca together. Oof.
Yeah, but Becca's stories are more funny.
Becca was just mean. She bullied me.
You were just the poor middle child.
I know. And they loved it. Because they're not going to do anything to the baby.
I know. I love hearing stories about how you used to get tormented.
But I think as far as that house goes, that's it. Because then after that house...
Did you move to the Newaygo
moved to... Yeah, I think we then moved to Newaygo. And there was nothing there. I have no stories about that house. At least
that's good.
I don't think. Nothing that I remember. So, I mean, that's still good.
For the best.
Then I haven't had any experiences until your mom's.
Oh, that's right.
You had the experiences there. I didn't.
Okay, so I didn't necessarily have, like, experiences.
You more heard things, right?
I heard things, and I always kind of got, like, a weird feeling sometimes. And it's weird because, like, I never... Too. So I never got that feeling a lot. It would just, like, randomly happen sometimes. Because we lived there for, what, almost a year in the basement? So my mom's house, she's been in there since 2015, 2014. I don't know.
Like 15.
Because you and I were dating when we still lived in Sparta. And then, yeah, she bought this house in Rockford. And apparently, the previous owners, right? Is that what it was? The previous owners? Yeah.
Because it's Grandpa.
Yeah. Grandpa died in one of the rooms.
The room that I hate.
The computer room. But the grandson of the grandparents actually stopped by my mom's not too long ago. It was like, only a couple years ago that he actually stopped by?
A year and a half, maybe.
Because my mom was outside working in the yard, and he pulled in the driveway and, you know, introduced himself, told him that his grandparents were the previous owners and everything. And then he straight up fucking asked my mom if she's experienced anything.
I don't think your mom has ever, like, said
we were
anything
moved out
about
at this
house.
point, too.
Yeah.
Like, we were in the townhouse. And... yeah, he straight up fucking asked my mom if she's ever experienced anything. She's like, you know what? Now that you mention it, kind of. Like,
it's mainly you though, because I don't think your mom really even has.
I think mom said she's like always had like a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's not like John's house where it's telling you to like get out. It's just kind of like you feel like something's there. It's just kind of like it's a presence. Is all it is.
Which, like, that's how I feel in the computer room. Like, even before I knew that was the room that he died in, I did not like that room. Like, all of the other rooms, the basement was fine. Your mom's room was fine. The whole house just kind of gave me
that feeling.
Everything was fine. The bathroom was fine. And honestly, I used to be terrified of the bathrooms. Bathrooms always used to scare me as a kid. Because, like, that's where all, like, the jump scares happen in all the movies. They open the mirror, they close it, there's something. And this bathrooms used to scare me a lot. But I felt fine all through the house. But that computer room, I wanted nothing to do with that. That's one of the rooms like where whenever I had to go on the computer in there, I felt hovered. I felt like there was like shadows in front of me, but like there wasn't.
Yeah.
But I felt like something was just like over me, just looking.
Always had like just an eerie feeling that like because I used to work at Big B and it was when I was doing the night shift, so I wouldn't have to go in until 1:00. So I was alone a lot of the days. And even when I moved to mornings, just, anytime I was alone in that house, I just felt like somebody else was there with me. Because, you and Mom were both at work, and there was literally nobody else there. And you can always tell when, because most people have Mom's garage door opener. So, you can tell when somebody's coming. Or even if, you're sitting in the living room, you can see somebody pull in. Just anytime I was, alone in that house, just randomly would feel a presence. And then
you saw an orb too.
I recorded an orb. I'll put it in the video. But I also had really I used to sleep talk a lot too.
Yeah.
Apparently, from what I hear from you.
I mean, you did it a lot. You used to just wake up in your sleep and just
at that house, because I did it a handful of times at the townhouse.
I mean, you still do it to this day.
Do I really?
Not so much.
But at Mom's house, it was bad.
At her house, it was you used to full eyes open, you were fully conscious. I mean, here in the townhouse, you could tell that you were asleep. You would try.
Do you say here at the townhouse? We are not at the townhouse.
Here and the townhouse.
Okay, I thought I heard you say here at the townhouse. It's fuck.
Here and the townhouse.
I miss that townhouse, but
I do too.
Not enough to go back.
I was in there the other day, and I was looking at things, and I was like, this was there, and it was.
It was a good time.
A really nice place. But anyway, what was I saying?
How here?
Oh yeah, you're sleep talking. I can tell now because you try to talk to me, but it's gibberish. And you're trying to have a conversation with me.
Where at Mom's house, I would shoot up and point and ask, "What's that?"
You would talk. There were a couple of times when you woke up and you said things that were just fluent, you were talking.
And I don't remember anything.
I don't remember what you said or any of that, but I do remember that one time I was laying in bed. It was probably 1 a.m., 2 a.m. or something. I was just
I'd been asleep for a while too.
Yeah. I was sitting there just watching TV, and you just shoot up. And I look at you. I'm like, what are you doing? And you point at nothing. The way that our room was set up in the basement was our bed was at the back wall, and then the middle of the room was the TV, the table and the TV, center. And behind that was
a curtain because
yeah. Well, the curtain was open.
Yeah, it didn't fully cover the entire part, but our room was blocked off by curtains because Mom said she was gonna get us drywall and everything, but it never happened.
No. Beyond where the TV was the last half of the basement.
And that's when it got into the storage area. Yeah, the storage area and the laundry room part.
Yeah, because you're kind of blocked off behind the curtains. Your mom put storage shelves and stuff.
Yeah, but and there's also the cellar door.
Black.
Yeah,
at that
pitch
time,
fucking black.
It was black, and you shot up in a dead sleep. You pointed at the black nothing, and just said, "What?"
Did I ask who's there?
Yeah, you just pointed up and you're like, who's there? And then you went back down and fell asleep. And I was like, oh, I don't want to sleep tonight. Okay, cool. Getting out of this house.
No, dude, a lot of these times where you tell me that I'm talking to you, I do not remember.
I need to record.
You really do, because you're scaring me.
Because I think last night, did you wake up when I came to bed?
I don't think so.
Because last night I went to bed, your eyes were open and you didn't really say anything. I probably just woke you up. You saw me and
I don't remember.
You smiled and then you just went right back to sleep, which that's a thing that just happens. You could have been awake, but it was just so quick that you just.
Well,
don't
because
remember.
again, both of us, we're heavy sleepers, but at the same time, the slightest thing will wake us up too.
Mm-hmm. But that was
But I don't remember you coming to bed.
creepy. Other than that, like, I ate nothing with me. My dad did, though. He there was like something that he heard in that house.
Oh yeah, he heard like kids or something.
He heard kids in the basement, which, I mean, like, the right next to your mom's.
Yeah, my mom
is
lives
a
right next to the
center,
freshman center.
which they don't have recess. And at that time, like,
They weren't out of school, or like they were like school wasn't out.
and like there weren't any sports after school or anything going on.
But he said like he directly heard it from the basement.
He heard kids in the basement and like a ball bouncing on the ground. Like, kind of sensed something passing him, because like me and my dad work maintenance together, and Beth's mom is our boss. So sometimes
It's a family affair.
Sometimes we would like go to her place and fix some things, or like what my dad was doing. Like, your mom got her
shower,
whole
wasn't
her
it?
whole bathroom. No,
Or it was the sink.
it was the
counter.
painting.
I think is what it was.
He was painting.
Oh, okay. She got like her whole bathroom redone, but
Yeah.
Dad went and helped.
My dad put doorknobs, brand new doorknobs on everywhere, and painted the bathroom and all that stuff. And while he was there, he like in the bathroom, he would just sense something going past him, which right next to the bathroom is the computer room.
Yeah.
And
It's not like a very big house.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain like the kids,
Yeah.
because like
Maybe that's just your dad,
as far as I know, it was just Grandpa that lived there.
as far as we know.
Yeah.
And Grandpa also shut off the power on Halloween.
Well, I mean, I do know that one was we had all the heaters going
I
off,
know,
but
that was funny.
it's still
And then
funny.
the door shutting.
Because like the funny thing about that, we were talking about him when it went off.
I know, and then the door shut.
Yeah, I mean, that is explainable too, but I still like to like.
No, it's funny. Because it was Halloween, and yeah, we were telling
Halloween,
Kate.
and we
were telling Kate how haunted the house was.
And then the power went out.
No, the door shut before that. Remember?
Oh,
The
yeah,
door was the first
yeah,
thing to shut,
yeah.
and then we were about to go outside, and the power kicked off.
Basement door shut.
No, it was Mom's room.
Oh, yeah. No, same hallway. But yeah, it was your mom's door that shut, which, like, it could have been, like, the air.
Which it was, because I just turned it on
but
before we started talking.
It's also a haunted house, and anything could be possible.
I know, it was still funny.
But the power shutting off, we had, like, what, 3 heaters going on at the same time?
Yeah, because it was fucking cold as shit
So
out in the garage.
I like to say that Grandpa shut the power off, but he...
Oh,
I know that it wasn't.
it's still a good story, though.
It's still funny. But...
And then we had the haunted hotel.
That one, that's all you.
I know.
Like, I mean,
There's not much to that
there's
story.
nothing to it. It's just,
Well, so, God, what did...
how old is that hotel, though?
I'm trying to remember even
It was
which hotel
Chicago.
it was. I know, but I can't remember the name of it.
They had a
apparently
lot-
my grandma's my grandma's stayed there a few times. My
it's
dad's
an
mom.
old hotel.
Yeah, and
They had, like, I think it was, like, celebrities used to stay there, like, way back when. Because
Yeah.
I think they had, like, they had pictures of celebrities who stayed there, and they put on a plaque what floor and what room
that's right.
they were in.
Yeah, it was like
which
it
is
was real like
cool.
old timey like bougie, but
it's old.
It's apparently pretty haunted, and I fucking believe it because we went there to go see Legend of Zelda concert.
Yeah.
The Symphony of the Goddess,
Yep.
which is
Goddesses.
fucking amazing. If they ever come back around, please go see it if you're a Zelda fan.
It's always Chicago.
You will cry. Jimmy
Always
almost
the
cried.
closest. I did. I got so emotional.
So yeah, we stayed a night at the hotel, and Jimmy's usually always the first one to fall asleep. And he's asleep at this point, and I'm just, laying in bed, watching TV or whatever, and I knew this place was haunted, and I didn't want to tell Jimmy because I didn't want to scare him. Because, what were we supposed to do? I don't know. I wanted to stay in there. It was nice, but actually, because remember our first room, they had to switch us rooms. because
we didn't switch rooms.
Yeah, we did. No, they came and fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, something was wrong with our room then. It had like what the
heat was, the furnace was bad.
Yeah, it was like so fucking hot in there.
Real hot in there.
And so maintenance had to come, and they wanted to switch us though. Maybe because it was haunted. Anyways, yeah, it's definitely around like 3 a.m. because I think I was on my phone for a second before I put it down, and then I turned the lamp off because I don't know, I was just dicking around. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't gonna go to sleep. But then I finally put my phone down. Thought it was probably about time to go to bed, so I turned the lamp off, and then I lay down. I tried to get comfortable. It took maybe about like 2 or 3 minutes to, just kind of toss and turn a little bit. And then I roll over to the side of the lamp, and the lamp turns on all by itself. Like I rolled over on the side, sat there for literally about like 60 seconds, and then boop, just click, turned on all by itself. My eyes shot open so fast. And I like shot straight up and like just kind of looked around and just got like this really, 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 really bad feeling in my stomach. I was just like, fuck. Now I'm not going to sleep. And I didn't go to sleep until probably about like 4:30. And I didn't want to wake you up because, again, I didn't want to fucking scare you because like you're such a little baby about it sometimes.
I am. Like, the paranormal is horrifying.
Well, how do you think I fucking felt?
I know. I mean, I still think you should have woke me up if you didn't feel okay.
I should have, but I didn't. But eventually, yeah, like I said, around like 4:30, I started to feel like a little better. And so I turned the lamp off again, and I went to sleep. And guess what? It didn't turn back on.
Never again. Never stay. It's a really nice hotel. Like,
oh no, it was really cool. I mean,
really
I
cool.
hate Chicago and everything. Like, I don't know. It takes a certain type of person to like
I
live
don't
in a
hate
big
Chicago.
city. I hate Chicago.
I hate driving Chicago.
I just hate how busy it is.
Yeah.
That's why we fucking bought a house out in the fucking middle of nowhere.
Remember when we went there and there was a Trump
Oh, there's a Trump rally going
protest
on.
on. They were heading straight to Trump Tower.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was cool.
That was cool.
I remember I posted on Snapchat. My mom messages me, "Are you guys okay?" We're fine. It's just
we were walking to Target or whatever.
Yeah, because we needed water or something. Then we just did some shopping.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for my ghost stories.
Yeah, I think same. Because I haven't had many experiences.
I do want to like tell like other stories of just.
Oh no, I want to talk about Hell's Bridge, but we can save that for next time.
Oh, okay. Next time, join us at Hell's Bridge with a Ouija board.
We're gonna contact the ghost of Eli Frisk.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be all you because I don't know anything about.
It's pretty
that
creepy.
Bridge. Like I don't know any stories about like any ghost things like local.
No.
Oh,
dude, local ghost stories are my fucking favorite.
Yeah.
Same with like true crime.
I want to know more, but like.
Well, then do your research, and we'll see them back on the next one.
But I gotta research my Egyptian stories.
That doesn't happen.
I know, but like I got so much like tabs
I know,
open.
but this is literally like we just started this podcast. Like, calm down.
I know.
But yeah, those were our ghost stories. Like I said, I think Jimmy's got better ones than I do, but paranormal is weird.
Nothing to mess with.
That too.
Do not have a Ouija board. I don't care if you're. This is gonna be so much fun. This is so funny. It's so fake. I don't care if it is all just.
I know.
Fake and whatnot.
Like, I
don't care.
I know Ouija boards were made by like Hasbro and everything, but dude, like, still, I wouldn't fuck with it.
Anything to do with like demons, the undead, not the undead, the dead.
Gotta start raising some zombies.
Yeah, anything to do with like dead and demons and all that stuff. No. I don't want to be around anybody doing that. I don't want to be around people who have done it. Because they're probably haunted.
Probably. But yeah, I think we'll turn ghost stories into like a little series too. We got time. There's other things I want to talk about, but you know, like the last one where we talked about food fight. I want to talk about like bad movies and everything, but for now, we're just gonna keep doing some different topics.
Winging it.
Pretty fucking much.
So please listen to us.
Just want to get our feet wet.
Please listen to us.
Please, for the love of God, listen to us.
Please. Anyway, have a wonderful life.
Is that going to be your sign-off?
It is today.
Do you know what my sign-off is?
Turn
Bye, I
off.
love you.